going on? Oh, well, I think it's time that we talk about all this. I don't know if anybody heard the Pat McAfee today. But if you did and you heard Pat McAfee, Aaron Rodgers was on. And Aaron Rodgers had to say what he had to say. And basically, if we're all paying attention, Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to play in Pittsburgh. I mean, he came out and said, I don't want to play for Pittsburgh without saying I don't want to play for Pittsburgh. I mean, that's just the facts. That's just the facts. Talking about all these other things. I might retire. I'm in a serious relationship and there's people that, that I care about that are sick. And all of that is fine. Like nobody's disputing any of that. But I don't know. If you want to play football, eventually you have to find your place and play football. He said all the teams that he's talked to, he doesn't want to play for Aaron Rodgers or for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, doesn't want to do it. Doesn't want to do it. Yeah, we're speaking on it so we can be done with it. This should be enough for anybody that's on the fence. I think this is enough right here to just basically say, yeah, we're done. Yeah. Got stuff going on with loved ones, which like I said, there's nothing wrong with trying to take care of your loved ones. But don't those people work too? Like if your mom was sick or your dad was sick or whatever, don't you still have a job? So, and that's my whole thing. It's like he just doesn't want to play in Pittsburgh. That's his thing. He doesn't want to play for the Steelers. This should be enough for the Steelers to say, we're moving on. We're moving on. That's all I'm saying. It should be enough for the Steelers to just be like, you know what? This guy had his chance. We gave him all the room that we can give him. That's it. And I mean, it's like I said, I get he's got stuff going on, but everybody's got stuff going on. Everybody's got something, no matter what it is. That doesn't mean you still don't work. But basically what he wants to do, he doesn't want to come and he doesn't want to come to mini camp. He doesn't want to come to training camp. The draft doesn't have anything to do with my decisions. And okay, well then what? I mean, at this point, the Steelers have to stop. They have to stop. They cannot continue to be this franchise that kowtows to a guy that is telling you, I don't want to be there. I want to go somewhere else. He's telling you that. And you're exactly Steeler Lee. If his issues are that deep, retire. You know what I'm saying? Hey, if I had all the money that I could ever spend, and he does, and there were some serious issues going on with family members that I needed to attend to or felt like I needed to attend to, I'm not playing football. I'm retiring. I'm done. And that would just be the end of it. He said he had a serious relationship, all this stuff. It was like everything was getting in the way of signing with the Steelers. But if you notice, he was more mad about being let go of the Jets and how they did it, which means he was hurt because he wanted to come back to the Jets. So it's not about not playing football. He just doesn't want to play football for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's it. That is it. So, I don't know. Mark Malone's saying maybe someone he knows has some chemo that might send shit in remission or they die. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying whatever they're going through, would be more important to playing football if it were me. You know what I'm saying? If somebody that was a close family member was going through some life-changing stuff, and again, I've played all the years that I've played. I'm 41 years old, and I have more money than I could spend in 3 lifetimes. I'd just retire. Just retire. So, the Steelers have been friend-zoned by the girl they've been chasing. Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. What's crazier, the narcissism of Rodgers or sane folks trying to figure him out? And I think it's both. I think it's both. You know, in judo, he snuck in and out of the city like a sneaky link. Yes, that's enough. Like, he was in the building for 6 hours. 6 hours and nothing. It's time to just say move on. What's going on, Rick Steele? You know. And then maybe the Steelers have moved on, you know, because we haven't heard them really say much. They said they got to know him, but maybe the Steelers' plan is like, yeah, we offered it to him. He won't take it. We're not budging. Maybe that was the Steelers' way of saying, we already have moved on. We offered him. He doesn't want to take our offer. Okay. We've moved on. So, yeah, exactly. He didn't want anybody to know that he came to Pittsburgh. He doesn't want to be in Pittsburgh. And like I said, that is fine. There is nothing wrong with not wanting to be in Pittsburgh. There is nothing wrong with that at all. Absolutely nothing. So, absolutely nothing. And I wonder if he will really pay for $10 million. I mean, I don't think the money aspect of it should matter. I don't think the money aspect should matter, but you're right. Tree stop. He won't play for the Steelers for $10 million. Now, maybe somebody else that he feels like gets him a better opportunity to get to a Super Bowl, he might, but he won't do that with the Steelers. Not at all. What's up, Somber? And so, exactly, Rodney Jenkins, a big waste of time. And look, I was on board early on. Y'all know me. I was on board, and I was like, yeah, he helps us. He's better than Fields. He's better than Wilson. He's definitely better than Rudolph. But at this point, it's time to just move on. So, it's time to just move on. So, I think the Steelers would be in the media, you know, because it's the Steelers and we don't have a solution at quarterback yet. So it wouldn't matter who it was. Rodgers is doing this because, hey, this is him. This is what he does. This is what he does. And we fell right for the bait. We're like a fish seeing a big shiny hook with a worm on it. Fell right for the bait. Right for the bait. And it's sad because we don't have to be that franchise, man. We don't have to be that franchise. We just chose to do that. Oh, we're talking about Aaron Rodgers and how he was on Pat McAfee today, basically saying he didn't want to play for the Steelers. And there's going to be a few people that don't read into that and think, no, he didn't say that. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. You know, he absolutely said that. Now, he bashed the Jets on how they let him go. Well, I flew across the country on my dime. Well, are they supposed to fly you out to go see them? Like, how does that work? I mean, they don't have to fly you out. And you could have said, no, I don't want to come. But you did. So why do we need to know that you paid for a plane ticket or a private jet, however you went? Why do we need to know that? So nobody needed to know that. But that's Rodgers. That's part of Rodgers, man. So I don't know. I don't know. It just, for me, it just didn't sound good. Brett Favre pulled the exact same thing. Exact same thing. So, personal reasons are personal. Who said they weren't personal? You know, he's got a sole focus is on his personal life. He said he had a serious relationship, or he was in one, and two people close to him are dealing with serious situations. Everybody gets that. Everybody gets that. No, Somber, we don't. What do they always say? If you're thinking about retiring, then you should retire. If you're thinking about it, you should do it. Because football is not one of them sports that you're halfway in, halfway out. That's how you get hurt. So, I mean, exactly. Now, I wouldn't take Ben 2 years off the couch. Ben is so out of shape, he couldn't even take a drop right now. He couldn't even take a 7-step drop. So, no. Yeah, Ben drops back, takes a 7-step drop. He'd be so tired he couldn't even throw an out route at this point. But, yeah, the Aaron Rodgers saga, it has to be finished. It has to be finished. And I've said this all along. I said this about 3 weeks ago. I said if the Steelers sign him after minicamp and after OTAs, the Steelers are not serious about winning this year. They're not. How could they be? You're going to bring a quarterback in with no time with your receivers, no time in the offense, no time putting in signals, all valuable time that you could have. He chooses not to do that. And then we sign him and bring him in, and that's okay? No. Well, I mean, let's not kid ourselves, Rodney, what made the Steelers consider him. I mean, like I said, contrary to popular belief, he didn't have a bad season last year. People are crazy saying he had a bad season. You know, he almost threw for 4,000 yards. Now, I'm not saying they won a bunch of games. Okay. But that wasn't all his fault either. I mean, hell, there were 3 games at the end of the year. He had them in the lead in the fourth quarter, and the defense lost it, where their defense was supposed to be all world, and it wasn't. So, what's going on, Zay Curry? Appreciate you coming in. Hey, John, what's happening? But yes, the Steelers got to forget Rodgers. Move on, move in another direction. Get a rookie. And let him compete. Let him compete with Rudolph. But I think Rudolph, look, we'll figure it out. I'm not going to sit here and be that fan that tells you that Mason Rudolph is the next coming of Joe Montana. I'm not going to do that, man. I'm not going to do that. So, yeah, he kind of put the Steelers behind the 8 ball, but not really. If your plan is Mason Rudolph, then your plan is Mason Rudolph, or a rookie. For instance, everybody, you hear these people on ESPN and you hear these people, NFL, there's no way the Steelers can go into the season with Mason Rudolph being the quarterback. Why? Like, why can't they? Or, like, Mason Rudolph has played in this league, won football games in this league. Rookies haven't. And if a team like Anthony Richardson from the Colts, mediocre in college, was the starter day one for the Indianapolis Colts 2 years ago. Tell me why Mason Rudolph can't be a starter if Anthony Richardson can be a starter. So, Handy Cart Mexican, you're exactly right. He said a whole lot without saying very much about the Steelers. He just doesn't want to be here. He just doesn't want to be here. So, and that's okay. In my opinion, I think it's okay. I don't think there should be any reason that the Steelers should panic. And you're right, Steeler Lee. ESPN wanted the drama of Rodgers in Pittsburgh. That's why they kept pushing that agenda. But Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to be in Pittsburgh. And to me, that's fine. To me, that's fine. So there's a lot of things we just got a lot of moving parts. And now that I believe that that's settled, now we can focus in and get this draft right. So, yeah, McAfee took it as if he's going to play football. It sounds like it will be with the Steelers. No, I don't think so. Yeah, Torsha, I took it that way. Think about it. Remember, it's not just him coming out and saying that. It's also, I'm not tied to anybody. I've heard from all these teams. I'm taking it slow. The draft doesn't mean anything to me. I'm going to do what I want to do. I might retire. Come on, man. So that's my personal thing, Ali, is the Steelers have a plan. They just don't have loose lips. You're exactly right. You're exactly right. So, Tomlin has no idea how to run a QB room. I don't even know what that means. I'm not sure you know what that means, other than you probably heard that on the internet. Well, hold on. The Jets didn't make him do anything. The Jets didn't make him do anything. He chose to fly out there. They didn't force him to come. He could have said, hey, I'd rather have a Zoom call. I got some stuff going on out here. But that's not it. That's not it. He wanted to go back to the Jets, and then the Jets said no. Fickle acting vibes. No, nobody's blaming Aaron Rodgers. So, nobody's blaming Aaron Rodgers at all. But he doesn't want to play in Pittsburgh. That's all. Like nobody's blaming him for anything. But he doesn't want to play in Pittsburgh. If you were a free agent QB, would Tomlin's offense be high on your wish list? No. But nobody else is high on Aaron Rodgers isn't high on anybody else's wish list. So if he wants to play football, the Steelers are an option. And basically his own only option. So all the Tomlin bashing, okay, great. That doesn't mean anything in this situation. So, no, that's not true. Aaron Rodgers loves being in the media. And maybe you're just being facetious, Mark Malone, because otherwise, why do you do a Pat McAfee interview if you don't want to be in the media? No, I didn't think Kenneth McNair, I didn't get the sense he was leaning towards anybody. I got the sense that he doesn't want to play. That's the sense that I got. He doesn't want to play. No, doesn't have anything. Why is it always got to be a Tomlin offense? Tomlin doesn't have an offense. So, but I forgot. Everything bad that's happened with the Pittsburgh Steelers is Mike Tomlin's fault. I don't know what I was thinking. I apologize. I totally forgot. And that's what I think, Dominique. I don't think it's hard-centered anymore. They are friends. They absolutely are friends. Now, but just because you're friends doesn't mean you want to go and play for your friend. So, that's right. I forgot, Mr. McNair. Everything good that happens in Pittsburgh is because of Bill Cowher. Everything bad, Mike Tomlin. I forgot. Don't know what I was thinking. Appreciate you, Trez. What do you mean, Handy Cart? I said, no, I'm talking about the media thing you said and Pat McAfee. I'm not sure what you mean. What I'm talking about is Aaron Rodgers loves being in the limelight. He loves being in the media. Because if he didn't, there's no way he does that. But yeah, I just think he just doesn't want to play in Pittsburgh, which, again, is okay. That's his right. And I don't think anybody should even be mad that Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to be in Pittsburgh. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that. You know, people, him not wanting to do that. I don't think there's a wrong in the world for him not wanting to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So. Don't think I'm a member yet. Can you drop the link again? I think if you look above, I think there's a link in there, my man, Mr. McNair. But if not, we'll get it dropped in there. What do we do at QB if Rodgers retires? You just figure it out, man. I mean, Rudolph, I said it before, I think Rudolph can win you 9, 10 games. He's not going to win you a playoff game, but he can win you 9 or 10 games. He can do that. I know. We got a Cowers is the greatest and a Tomlin is the worst guy in the chat. We got one of those. You know, we stopped winning playoff games when Cowers players stop. What do you mean Cowers players? First of all, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers players. That's number one. Number two, how good was the Cowher players the last year that he coached in Pittsburgh? How good was that team? I mean, Lord. Oh, but Big Ben was hurt. I mean, there's always injuries that happen. So, exactly. Dick LeBeau was doing as much as Cowher. It's okay. There you go. 8-8. Didn't make the playoffs. Can we depend on Rudolph to get the Steelers through a whole season? Or are we going to have to depend on backups to the backup? I mean, I would say that you go into a season thinking that your quarterback's going to be healthy. But you also have to prepare that he won't. I think that's no matter what. So that is what it is. Who didn't win with Cowher's players? Cowher. I mean, I think it's always funny. They act like Bill Cowher. And again, I love Coach Bill Cowher. I think he was great. But they acted like he won 5 Super Bowls. But here's the kicker. They always say, well, you know, Tomlin won with Cowher's players. Well, why didn't Cowher win more with them? Well, he didn't have a quarterback. So Cowher couldn't find a quarterback? That's his fault? Or whose fault is it? I'm assuming it was Mike Tomlin's fault that Bill Cowher never had a good quarterback. Although, they act like Neil O'Donnell wasn't any good. I mean, we act like Neil O'Donnell was just trash. And that's not the case. He wasn't. He wasn't. Oh yeah, they'll be blaming. They'll be blaming him, but it is what it is. They sure did want to fire Cower then. They sure did. I remember that. I remember that. So, and of course, you know, it just is what it is, people. It is what it is. So, she gonna be comfortable. She is gonna be comfortable. So, yeah, I heard that the same thing, DeAndre, but I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I it just wouldn't be. I think it's just time to move on. So, time to move on. Our Tomlin hater from earlier today, Mr. Body Bag. Now he's trying to say that Tomlin's not a leader of men. So just so we're clear, because guys have bad attitudes, like Mike Tomlin was supposed to be their mom and dad growing up and also teach them not to have a bad attitude. He was responsible for all of that from the time that they were born till the time they get to Pittsburgh. Got it. Whew. Man. Or you could say, you know what? Tomlin's able to get those guys in the locker room and they're still able to win games even though there's people in the locker room that cause some problems. Maybe that. So maybe say that. But I know we're not going to say that because the Tomlin's bad. Everything about him's bad. Horrible human being, coach. By the way, he was killing the Steelers brand this morning. Remember, the Steelers brand was bad. That Tomlin had just destroyed the Steelers brand. Got it. Got it. Bubba. No, people aren't realistic, but that's okay. That is okay. Yeah, you could probably say that. You could probably say that. You could probably say that, Yinzer, that it might be that the people have changed, the players have changed. So you could probably say that. The value of the Steelers franchise has not gone down, not one single dollar. That's a flat out lie. Now, you could say other teams are more valuable, but the Pittsburgh Steelers aren't worth less money than what they were 10 years ago. Don't come on here and lie just to try to be right. Jesus. Yeah, she's after it today, man. She is after it today. She is after it today. She is after it today. Yeah, people are absolutely crashing out. They are crashing out. I get it, though. I get it, man. I get being frustrated with what's going on with the Steelers. I get it. Heck, I'm so frustrated with the offense, I'm willing to go back to the Killer Bees offense where, remember when we had absolutely no defense? I'm so jaded, I'm willing to go back to that and just see if we can figure it out. I can see if we can figure it out. If I need to learn how to, okay. There's some people you just got to move on from. It's a week before the draft. It's frustrating time in the NFL. Yeah, it is, man. It's frustrating for everybody because there's nobody to. It's frustrating for everybody because basically there's nothing really going on. You know what I'm saying? Like there has been nothing going on from the Super Bowl. I mean, we talk about the combine and all that stuff, but is anything really going on? Like the draft is something real that you can put your hand on, that you can really talk about. The rest of it, all we've been talking about is rumors and speculation. That's why people get so frustrated, is because there's nothing that we can pinpoint that's real. You know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing that's real. Like, okay, yeah, a guy ran a fast 40 time. Well, how many times have we seen a guy run a fast 40 time, but he can't play a lick of football in the National Football League? We've seen it over and over and over again. And the one thing about Pittsburgh fans, we're fairly smart, and we understand that. So there's been nothing to really to grasp on, you know? As long as we're not the Bengals that spent almost half their cap on just 3 players. I mean, it was getting that way. I mean, the Steelers spent $160 million on defense last year. I'm glad we finally figured that out and flipped that around. Big G is in here. Says Rodgers is driving the Steelers fans to true alcoholism. Frustration equals ENJ, Thunderbird, and liquor abuse. I mean, that's exactly right, Samba. We are victims of our own thoughts. So, is my dog dreaming of snoring? I don't know. She might be dreaming of snoring. But she hadn't had a nap today. She's been bugging me all day. So she hadn't had a nap. She finally got a nap. So, and this is her nap. You know, most people, when they snore this hard, it wakes you up. Yeah, she ain't going to wake her up. She'll just go even harder. So, Handy Cart says, yeah, but at least that was defense as a whole. These dudes managed to do it with just 3 people. I mean, they are 3 really good ones, though. So, Tomlin did that 3 years ago. Don't pin that on Aaron Rodgers. I don't even know what you're talking about. The louder she snores, the deeper the sleep. You're right. I don't know when. She gets on the couch. It's like as soon as she touches the couch, instant snoring. Instant. So let TJ Watt go, says Clint Taylor. Sign Herbig to a long-term deal and get a Pro Bowl offensive lineman in free agency. I get rid of Pickens for a 2nd or a 3rd round. Well, Clint, first off, I mean, I appreciate it. Let's see. I don't know, man. I mean, they're not going to let TJ Watt go. And why, if you're going to sign Herbig to a long-term deal, why wouldn't you sign TJ Watt? TJ Watt is a miles better football player than Herbig is. I mean, miles better. Herbig is bad against the run. TJ Watt is outstanding against it. So you're defeating the purpose. And we can't get caught up in, well, it's the money thing. Hey, man, the salary cap is there to be manipulated. The Steelers just don't use it often enough. So everybody that's saying that, let's see what Herbig does this year. Let's see him do something this year. But I don't think the answer is trading TJ Watt and then signing Herbig to a long-term deal. For what? It doesn't matter that Herbig's 22. He could be 82, 102. If his play isn't near as good as TJ Watt's, so what? Why are you giving him that money? I mean, he hasn't earned it. He flat out hasn't earned it. So why would you give it to him? If they're not going to give it the money to George Pickens, why would you give it to Herbig? That's just not a good idea. I appreciate it, but that's not a good idea. Steelers are going to trade Pickens to Dallas for 21 to move up to 12? No way. That doesn't even make sense either. What, you're trading George Pickens and you're moving up in the draft? Yikes. So, TJ was hurt the last 5 games last year. But y'all know me. I don't give excuses for bad play. And, you know, if you're not getting the job done, even if you're hurt, if you're so hurt that you can't get the job done, then you don't need to be out there. I don't give excuses for that. I know that might be, oh, come on, B, you're too hard. You're not being realistic. Yeah, actually, I am being realistic because if the job is, okay, I have to go out here and I got to make plays, and I go out there and I don't make plays, well, you were hurt. Okay. What difference does that make? Then I don't need to be out there if I can't make the plays. See, that's the job. The job description doesn't change because you're hurt. The job description never changes because you're hurt. Okay? I think that's what people, sometimes they lose sight of that. Is that, well, he's hurt. Well, the job description is the same. It's just like our job or your job. Like, if you go into work and you're sick, they don't say, you know what? You don't have to do your job today. You're sick. If you show up to work. Now, if you call in, that's something different. But if you go into work, they don't say, hey, man, just sit here all day. Don't do much. Don't do anything. It'll be okay. That's not what happens. That is not what happens. So I get it that TJ didn't play good, and he was hurt. You could see it. You could see it. I mean, he was running at 50, 60% at max. But, and Herbig is an outstanding pass rusher. There is no question. But as good as he is against the pass, that's how bad he is against the run. He is not a good run defender. And it might be scheme, you know, or they might put him in situations where it's always pass and then they run it. Whatever the case may be, he just hasn't been that good against the run. So that's all. But I like Herbig. Don't get me wrong. I like Herbig. So I like Herbig a lot. But to get rid of TJ Watt, Herbig's got to go a lot further. The problem with that is, what are you going to do? Like, if Alex Highsmith and TJ Watt are hurt, are healthy, don't they deserve the majority of the snaps? I would say absolutely. But then that comes down to scheme. Why the hell can't you, if we're in the nickel all the damn time, in obvious passing situations, why don't you have Herbig, Highsmith, and Watt on the field along with Cam Hayward? Do that. You can't have 3 pass rushers on the field? There's plenty of teams that do that. Plenty of teams that do that. Run some twists, run slants, a lot of different things. So, yeah, Cole Holcomb I didn't think Cole Holcomb was going to come back. I'll be honest with you. I didn't even think Cole Holcomb was going to be able to run again. But modern medicine, I should have known better. But I just didn't think he'd come back to the NFL. But you're right. If they brought him back and they let E-Rob go, they must think that he's going to be okay. Plus, they restructured his deal versus just cutting him. But I'm surprised that he's back. But good for him, man. Good for him. A lot of NFL analysts credited Herbig with stopping Lamar on that RPO 2-point conversion. Yeah. I mean, he has his moments. But I think we've seen a lot more moments of him just not being good against the run. Oh, God, Mark Malone, that surgery. Jesus. They probably just went in and they were like, what a mess. But piece by piece, let's put it back together. I wonder how long it was. Every ligament, artery damage, just, ugh. Herbig cannot be anywhere close to E-Rob. Well, they played two different positions. So Herbig is an outside linebacker. E-Rob is a 2-down inside linebacker. So yeah, Herbig doesn't play inside linebacker. They play two different positions. And here's the thing. Herbig was playing really good before he got hurt, if you all remember. Like, Herbig was playing good football. Or not Herbig, excuse me. Not Herbig. Cole Holcomb was playing really good football before he got hurt. Really good football. But Herbig is not the starter. It's Alex Highsmith and TJ Watt. Those are the starters at outside linebacker. So, yeah, and that's the thing, Yinger Joe. You're exactly right. This is not the first time that Holcomb has been hurt in his NFL career. I mean, that's kind of been his thing. Unfortunately, he's gotten hurt. So, illegal immigrant, 50, I don't even know if 50 years ago it was an amputation. It might have only been 25 years ago that it could have been an amputation. Shoot, not 50. I mean, 25 years ago. I mean, medicine's come a long, long way. So, G-Stacks is 150% correct, people. Talking about losing to it the way that they did is in retirement is still haunting the Steelers. Yeah. Because remember, we lost him the year before because he got hurt. Then he didn't come back right away. And then his brother died, which, I mean, that is a nightmare that I can speak on. And then he got hurt again trying to come back. And then he just said, you know what? I'm done playing football. That hurt the Steelers. But here's what I'll say. As much as that hurt the Steelers, damn that. It hurt him more. I mean, you lose your brother, any kind of way you lose your brother, but to lose him like that in a car wreck, I mean, and again, like Tuitt wasn't trying to retire. He wasn't trying to retire. He just, hey, man, enough's enough. I need a change. I can't keep doing this. I'm not going to be the same. And football's not a sport that you can go out there and half-ass it. That football is just not a sport where my heart's not in it. I can't just go out here, even all the money that you make. I can't go because I'm going to get hurt or hurt somebody. It's just not something that I can half-ass, and he quit. So I get it. Shazier loss took us a while to figure that out too. You're exactly right. And the thing that hurt about Shazier, obviously him being hurt and him not being able to walk and all that stuff, is that, and maybe I'm being premature, maybe I'm being nostalgic, but I think Shazier was on his way to outside being a Hall of Fame linebacker. He was that good. I mean, they were already talking about him being the best middle linebacker in coverage in the NFL. He was already that. So he was already that. And I don't even know that was up for like a whole lot of debate, like in coverage. He was great. He was not good. He was great. Guy that, like, tight ends, couldn't run away from him. Could not run away from him. And he was physical in the run game. So, but you know what? Again, as sad or as upset that I am for the Steelers because we lost them, who gives a shit, to be honest with you? I would much rather him be walking around like he is right now. So at least he can do that. At least he can do that. Sometimes you got to look for the bright side of stuff. Speaking of the bright side of stuff, you know, the conversation was getting too deep, people. It was getting too deep. You got to get this on the frame. Surprised she's going to turn around and smack me in the face. Conversation was getting too deep. So we don't need to go down there. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, people? Not drafting a replacement for Big Ben is hurting us too. Yeah. Big G, I wouldn't even say drafting a replacement for Big Ben. Not letting Big Ben go when we knew that Big Ben was finished. That is what has hurt the Steelers. So that is what hurt the Steelers, is allowing Big Ben to play the last couple of years when we knew. Because remember the year before they started off, they had won 11 games in a row to start the season. But us as Steeler fans, we're watching the games and we're like, yeah, we're really not that good. Like, our offensive line is trash. We're really not that good of a football team. And then the last 4 games of the year, we got exposed. We get in a playoff game, couple turnovers, and the Browns blow us out at home. Ugly. That should have been Big Ben's last year, and he wasn't even really that good. But they didn't. Oh, well. What are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? Week 2 of 2019 when he blew his elbow out. Maybe. You might be right. Yeah, Rudolph was supposed to be his replacement. Remember, Big Ben threw a hissy fit talking about, a 3rd-round pick on a guy that's not going to play. That doesn't help us win right now. And they should have come out and said, Ben, shut up. We want him because we don't know how long you're going to play. Or better yet, we don't know how long we want you to play for us. Go out there and win some football games and shut up. So, better than it appears. I trust Rudolph. I think it's an upgrade from last year. We'll see, man. Oh, Rudolph was awful early in his career. Oh, my God, Mr. Woody, you don't even know. Well, apparently you do know. Because, yes, Mason Rudolph was god-awful early. He was god-awful. I mean, remember he got his chance in 2019 when Big Ben got hurt. He was awful, and then he got hurt. Then we had to bring in the Duck, and the Duck got cooking. Don't y'all remember? Remember when the Duck was cooking? Lord have mercy. The Duck got cooking. No, they didn't take. I don't think they took. No, they didn't take Mason Rudolph over Lamar. Lamar was a 1st-round pick. He did get beat out by Duck. So I thought Duck had potential, obviously limited due to his size, but liked his play better than Rudolph. At the time, I think everybody liked his play better than Rudolph. Okay. Well, guys, I apologize. I've got to run. I appreciate you all showing up, man. I got to run. So I will holler at you all. We've got the podcast coming out tomorrow. If anything else pops off, I will make sure and we'll jump on here. I will probably tell you that Saturday at some point I will jump off and be on here. So y'all have a good one. I appreciate you, and aloha.